What's up, YouTube? I've got a 2006 Grizzly 660. I just wanted to do a little walk around video on it. I love it when people do that on theirs, just so you can kind of see little tips and tricks that they've got going on when you love four-wheeling as much as I do. So it's mainly used in the mountains, not so much in mud, even though I got snorkels on it. Snorkels are for just in case I get in some deep stuff, I'll be fine, have that extra bit of insurance. I have flooded out the torque converter, or the clutch snorkel, the exhaust for it once, and it left me kind of almost stranded. I had to drain it out, and I had to pull this thing out of the water. It sucked, so I snorkeled it after I did that. I'll be starting from the ground and working my way up. So I got some rims. They look like the ITP ones, I believe it is, but they're Rock Tricks. They're a little bit less expensive, and I just put some custom decals on the center caps, and they work great. They come with lugs, lock lugs, and they're absolutely phenomenal. I've got the Kenda Bear Claws. I went with 26s. Factories 25s over there, and they are crap when they're factories, the 25s. So these Kenda Bear Claws are amazing. They absolutely went far beyond my expectations and exceeded them, as far as how they hook up, how strong they are, and especially for the price. So I bought them just as some trail tires, and I've hit some situations where I've gone through some mud, and these things, oh my gosh, do they grab and dig through mud for as small as lug that they are. They go through some crap. It absolutely amazes me. I got stuck once when I was high centered, and I had to winch myself out. Not a big deal, it happened. So these things are amazing. They far exceeded my standards. The biggest thing about these, I was riding with a lot of guys in the mountains and rocks and nasty, sharp stuff. Expensive Maxxis tires, you name it, and they're popping tires left and right, and these things held up just through all of it. I was like, holy crap, shocked. These things are strong as heck, and they look pretty good as well. So I would say Kendas, are a plus on my book. I did 1-inch wheel spacers on each wheel to give this thing a little bit more width, and it actually turned out great. The wheels gave it another probably half an inch, so I got a grand total of about 1.5 inches at each wheel in extra width, and oh my gosh, it makes a difference. It's like riding a whole new four-wheeler. When you do that, when you space it out just a little bit, it's not so crazy, it looks funny, but it feels like another machine. The stability is unbelievable. I can rip around corners, and then the way it puts different pressure on the actual springs and the shocks of this thing, it makes it a more plush ride, so it feels just phenomenal. I mean, it's a whole new machine. When you put wheels and tires on and then space it out a little bit, it's a phenomenally, completely different machine. You just improved it. And go figure, the 2016 Grizzly, even the 2014s, they spaced out the suspension another inch and added 26-inch tires. So I did the exact same thing Yamaha actually went ahead and did, and I did it before they came out with this. So I'm going to start from the front and work my way back. I've got aluminum skid plates for the A-arms, boot guards, whatever you want to call them, and they're powder coated black. I just got them off eBay. I have no idea what brand they are, but they work great. That powder coat really worked out well. They have banged into many rocks, and I don't even see a mark. So got the factory winch in there, roller fairlead. It's a Warren winch. I believe it's like a 2500, 2000, whatever. Also got this skid plate, bash plate, whatever you want to call it, from eBay. Some local, or I don't even know what local, but wherever they are, they make these things and they cut them, and oh my gosh, they're strong. I've smashed into a lot of stuff and not even a mark on it. And then after I bought it, I had it coated in Line-X, and that stuff is so strong. There's not even a nick on it, and I've had a year of just ripping through rocks and not even a mark. The Line-X really worked out well. So this bumper, Grizzlies, for everybody who has them knows that they're pretty flimsy. The guy I got this from actually hit and bent both these parts on both sides back, and I straightened them out as much as I could. I also took out the plastic part that goes from here to here, welded in some metal pieces, and it worked great when I hit some stuff. I also welded another metal piece in here that's a little bit thicker than the factory one. Worked out great. I took the plastic piece, cut it, and made just a little bumper piece for the front here out of it. I've coated the thing in like a bed liner. Also built up the welds back here and put metal pieces back to make it stronger in the rear so it doesn't bend back, and it actually worked a lot better than factory. I ran into a lot of stuff, and it helps. As far as lighting goes, obviously you can see the big light bar I've got up front here. It's like a 12-inch or something. I got it from AutoZone. Works great. It's waterproof. It's getting nicked up pretty bad because I've had it a while, but man, if you try to run factory lights in the mountains, it's not going to work. It's going to be terrible. So the best thing you can ever do, especially if you're, just anywhere, getting a light bar. My dad has a Grizzly 660 also, and he ice fishes with it. So I got him a light bar so you can see out on the ice, and it just changes everything when you got one of these things. It's probably the best upgrade I've got on this thing, other than the wheels and tires for the suspension. And then moving rearward, so I've got a little storage box here, a little Pelican case. Sorry, my hands are nice and dirty. I just got done working on this. This thing's got like all my medical type supplies. It's kind of a beast to open. Tourniquet, some military med supplies, glasses cleaner, rubber gloves if you're running into anything or anybody that's bleeding pretty badly. You never know, if you're out in the mountains pretty deep, you can run into some wazoo stuff. Somebody, clotheslined themselves once on a barbed wire fence, and I had to actually wrap somebody up one time. So it actually comes in handy. So what I've got up here, here's your snorkel kit. I'll do a later vid on the snorkel kit. It was a beast. Oh my gosh. I did it custom, totally by myself, designed it myself. It took me like a month, and it was, a big nightmare. So I would recommend just getting a 700 and putting a snorkel on if you're looking to do that. So I got Power Mad hand guards. They work great for ramming into sticks or whatnot. Going down the trail, got some ODI grips. They work really well. They're pretty thick. They grab on your gloves really well. I like them a lot. They look better. They feel great. I don't get a lot of resistance and vibrations. Got some lighting here. I don't even know who makes these things. They're just little, like 1.5-inch lights off of Amazon, and they have been phenomenal. I got them attached to the bars so that when I'm driving at night, I can turn the bars and see where I'm looking. The little switch I use, this is my second switch. The other one was mounted down there, and it was bad because that thing got destroyed instantly. So I got this switch, and it works great. There's a light difference. And then when you turn it, you can see where you're pointing to. Works great. I mean, I would say it's essential if you're going to places like mountains or riding in the nighttime. Also, so I got those lights. I've also got this little light right here, which are rock lights for the sides. See if you can even see it. Kind of shoots light out to the side. They're just little LEDs. That's it in there, and it makes it so you can kind of see to your sides next to the tires when you're driving at night. It's actually very helpful. So I like the little rock lights. These lights were the best, but this switch right here I got on Amazon, mounts to your bar, and I would recommend it. It's been through a lot of water, and it's never had an issue. So use that switch if you have any lights. Keep it on your bars. So got this off of eBay. Little Grizzly symbol up on top. Phenomenal work. This guy is really good at what he does. He also has black ones. I thought it went with the theme though, with this little silver or aluminum polish rather. So that's off eBay. I don't even know how much it cost. It was really good though. It's really nice. Had to do some modifications on the side down here for fitting the snorkeling. So I'll do another vid on that, like I said, later on. Now moving back, let's see, we've got the storage box. So in the storage box, I keep, this is a DeWalt storage box, by the way. It's not an OGO, or however you say it. It's relatively waterproof. It's got a seal here. I had to build it up because it leaked a little bit. So I got all the essentials, like I keep all my tools in here as much as I can to help work on this thing, because trust me, when you break down on the side of a mountain at night, you need tools. I got a flashlight, headlamp somewhere, some more rubber gloves, another set of glasses or goggles, small goggles, an extra, this is where I keep my wallet and my phone inside this double waterproof case, caffeine pills, because energy drinks just get shooken up when you're riding. Those things are smooth. Little food, got to have some water. And also have, this is one of those breathe snout thingies. Got a bunch of zip ties down here, and whatever else I want to add to it. I usually throw my gun in here, or just keep it on my hip. But yeah, having some of this stuff is much needed for going out in the mountains or going in weird places. Having extra storage is nice. And I strap like a gas tank to the back of it. Also, underneath the seat, I have a tow rope, shackles, snatch block. I've got, sorry, this is all dirty from getting muddy. These are 2 cans of slime, for tire slime. And then this is, geez, I don't even know what this is. Okay. Oh, this is a patch kit, plug kit rather, for tires. So I keep a plug kit underneath the seat also. Bunch of batteries and miscellaneous stuff is in here. Can't really see it. And then something great to keep under the seat too. This is a little slime air compressor. You got to keep all these things waterproofed, otherwise they get full of water and mud, as you can see. But I keep all those under the seat, so they work out great. Moving back, see the tires, and I've also got those A-arm guards down here, aluminum. They work phenomenally. I've got a 2R racing tip on it, opened up the exhaust a little bit. And that's about it as far as external stuff. As far as internal, I did K&N air filter. I did a carb jet kit. I've got a 155 main, and I drilled out and screwed out 2 turns the I believe it's a starting circuit screw. I've also got down here, you can see some of the wrapping I've done on the exhaust, as well as on this pipe that I have that runs next to it for the snorkel. Now this big bolt right here is just a plug. That's where I put a kit that I installed. It's a wideband O2 sensor, so I can, here's the name of the kit. I don't keep it on there because it's not waterproof, but I use it for jetting the carb and getting all the settings correct and driving down the road. I can get a good idea of where I'm at with the air-fuel ratio. So, all right, I also have an EPI clutch kit in there. I did a 1.5 millimeter shim spacer. The EPI kit was for the 26-inch tires. It was like for the larger tire kit. It gave me a little bit more torque, low-end torque. I don't even know if I lost any high-end. I really don't care, but the low-end torque is what I wanted. It worked out a little bit pretty good. So I did it at 1,500 miles. I changed the belt out, measured the old one, still didn't need to change it, did it anyway. While I was in there, I also replaced the viscous clutch pads or shoes, whatever they're called, because I was in there anyway, as well as the one-way bearing. Just, you know, I had everything apart, why not, kind of thing. So, and then I got extra ones in case they go out now that are still good from the old ones. I did it at 1,500 miles, like I said, so it was kind of early on that whole thing. But so it's got a pretty much brand new clutch setup. And one thing I forgot to mention as well is this throttle cable is like $12 on eBay. You can get another one. I would recommend just getting it if you have a Grizzly 660 of any type. One time I was on the mountains, and it was summertime, so it was hot. I'm guessing the thing melted, but it locked up. And I've heard horror stories, reading on blogs of people having this thing lock up and drive them off a mountain or something and almost kill them. So I just replaced that throttle cable. Like I said, it's like $12 right off the bat, or at least have an extra one with you in case you're on a long four-wheeling excursion. Last thing you want is a $10 part keeping you from the rest of the weekend of fun or week or whatever length of time it is, but it's a safety thing, so I would just go ahead and replace that sucker. What I actually did when I was on the side of the mountain, when that thing locked up, thankfully I had all my tools with me. I pulled this part off with this side piece, and I got to the side part right here of where the throttle cable, which is this, you can barely see it, attaches the carburetor, and I backed it off using a flat blade screwdriver once I got this little metal cap off it, and I used this in conjunction with just upping my idle with this to get me down the mountain. I used a screwdriver to get it off idle a little bit, and this was my throttle, the choke. So I used the choke as my throttle getting down the mountain. That's what got me back home. So if that happens to you, that's the way I would go about it. Just make sure you have tools, or just go ahead and buy a whole new one altogether. I buy lots of extra little parts if they're like $10 a piece. I just have them hanging out and laying around, just in case I run into a situation like that again. Also had a battery fail on me recently. It's been the throttle cable and the battery's been the only problems I've ever had with this thing, and maybe just gunk in the carburetor. You just got to clean it every now and again. And those are the only problems I've really ever had with it. If you make anything other than factory, like the snorkel kit, all your vent lines you got to watch out for, because if you clog those up, or if you pinch them somewhere by changing where they're located from factory, you'll find yourself in a situation where the engine won't run. Like for instance, this one time I had it pinched beneath here, and it kept all the fuel, created a negative vacuum in the tank, kept all the fuel from getting to the carburetor, so it started sputtering off idle, and then I found out that it was just a suction creating the gas tank because I had this routed incorrectly, and it just pinched it. That was all it was. So all those, like there's one on the carburetor on the side of the carb, and then there's that one off the gas tank. Those are your two most important. But yeah, I would recommend watching out every little step you do. There's negative things that could come of it. But as far as that throttle cable, replace that sucker. The battery also went dead on me, and it did some wazoo stuff. I was thinking it was the voltage regulator. It wasn't that. It ended up just being the battery, because it was just doing weird stuff. So when it's easy, try to do the easiest stuff first. If you see a battery starting to go funny on you, I would just replace the sucker right off the bat anyway. This starter relay, I replaced it. It was starting to do weird things, I thought, so I just replaced it anyway. It's a cheap part. Again, like I said, have plenty of cheap parts around, and swap them out if you have any inkling or suspicion that they're going to actually go bad on you. So that's about it, guys. That's the Grizzly 660 2006, the modifications I've done to it. And I love this thing. I'm about to get a 700, I think, just because I want the fuel injection. I want the ability to have more power with the top-end engine kit, even though they offer for this. It'd just be even that much bigger with the 700. So this thing's phenomenal. I love it. Going to be for sale soon. But thanks for watching, guys.